All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Yahweh who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to, just give a little commentary, man, because I always listen to, and whenever you listen to the Christians, do their videos and, whatever they're talking about, we all know the doctrine, right? They believe specifically y'all will focus on the Catholic group because some groups actually have it right because they teach that like I'll give an example. The Seventh Day Adventists, right, SDA Christians teach that when you're soul departs from the body, you go to a place called purgatory, which what, that's actually not far from the truth. Okay, so they're actually, I'd argue and say that they're right with what they're saying on that, because what purgatory basically is that you go there and you're basically at sleep, right? You're at rest, in purgatory when your soul departs from the body, and that's correct in the Bible, and that's what I'll focus on here today. That when you die, when your soul departs from your body, you are at rest, you're at peace, okay? Because the Catholics teach, and it's not just them, right? There's a lot of other people who believe it, even some Hebrew Israelites, right? Some people who are supposed to know the scriptures, subscribe to the doctrine of hell, right? That you die and, burn in hell, which that's a whole nother topic in itself, because in the Bible, whenever you see the word hell, it either refers to the physical earth or it refers to a condition of suffering, like a mental condition, right? Like, I'll give an example. Some people right now are in hell. Like, I'll give this example. The other day I was talking to this one guy who was in the comment section of Two Letter J's live stream. His name was what was it, Homeless in America. So I went to his page, and yeah, sure enough, he's homeless. I watched his video where he was explaining his story, and he basically said, I was had a good paying job. I had a job paying $25 an hour. I mean, hell, that's a decent salary right there, man. $25 an hour. That's a lot of money. But anyway, he said, "Hey, look, something happened. They laid me off. I lost my job. I lost everything I had. And I lost everything I had to put in storage because I can't pay it anymore. So right now he's living in a tent, in the woods or something. Living off of food stamps. So that, and it's not funny, right? That brother's, may the Lord, help that brother through that circumstance, of course. Because the man sounds very sincere. So may the Lord, help him out, of course. Which I'll leave a link to his channel in the comment section. Go ahead and give him a donation, if you will, right? If you can, go ahead and give that man a donation, because he definitely, needs it, right? Don't go ahead and give nothing to damn what a Two Letter J's Patreon, right? Go give some money to that brother who's literally down on his luck, sleeping in a tent. I'll leave a comment down below. I'll pin it, and I'll put a link to the man's channel, right? Go give the brother some some financial support, if the spirit's on you to do so. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. But I'm using him as an example, man, because he went from living a fairly decent lifestyle, living off $25 an hour at his job. That's a lot of money, man. So what happened to him is he lost all of that. Right now he's living in a tent in the woods, living off of food stamps. Right, so that shows you, man, that your position in life can change, overnight, man, which is a scary thing. That's why the scriptures speak about, what is that? Matthew 10:28. Don't fear the man that can destroy, the body and not the soul, but rather fear him that can destroy both body and soul in hell, which we're in hell right now. And that goes back to what I was saying, is because why you have him living in hell, living on the the streets in the cold right now. You have other cats out here that are, never had to work a day in their life, man. Guys out here, look at this guy, Look at Mr. Beast for an example. Look at PewDiePie. Look at Mark Rover. Look at Floyd Mayweather. Okay, which some of these men that I mentioned, did come from the bottom and went to the top. Okay, so I'm not saying they didn't put in work to get where they're at, because they certainly did. But some people are just born into luxury. Like, I'll give an example, right? Biden's children, Trump's children. Okay, the children of the the royal families, so-called royal families, right? And children of wealthy businessmen. So they got it easy, right? They got it easy. They can sit back and relax and never have to worry about a damn thing in their life. But look at us, man. We don't have a penny to scratch together, man. We got to get up, work a 9 to 5 and live on an unlivable wage. So we're in hell, right? We are in hell, but they're in heaven right now. Okay, so in the Bible, it depends on the context, but certain verses for heaven can mean a condition of like power on earth. I'll give an example. If you go to what is that? Isaiah the 14th chapter. Right, Isaiah the 14th chapter. The condition there, it says that Lucifer, right, he'll say that, I'll ascend into heaven, right, I'll be above the clouds of the Most High. That's talking about the king of Babylon. If you read the whole chapter, it tells you, take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So the Lucifer in that chapter is referring to the king of Babylon, right, a man. But it says what? That he'll be in a high position, right? That's what heaven means in that verse, that he's going to be in a high position. Okay, and that's why, which that's a whole nother video in and of itself, so I won't get off onto that. Okay, but in the Bible, heaven and hell, depending on the context, can mean different things. Okay, yes, there is a real heaven, right, where the Most High dwells, right? There's a heaven in the sky, right, what we see above us. And there's a heaven that man can experience, such as being in a high position of, wealth and authority. Okay, and there's a hell as far as, the physical earth is hell, but then there's also a hell that can mean a condition of suffering, like we're in hell. You ever hear someone make a statement and say that I'm catching hell right now? That's a true statement, right? They're going through a difficult time in life, and that's what hell is in the Bible. One of those two things. There ain't no hell where you burn. That's all bullshit. That's not in the Bible. And going back to what I was saying, is that the Bible tells you that when your soul departs from the body, you go to sleep. And there's plenty of precepts on that. Acts the 7th chapter, John the 11th chapter, Job the 3rd chapter. And that's a handful of them. Right, if you read those chapters, I'll give this example, right, John 11, Christ told the apostles that were there that Lazarus, that he's he's sleeping. Right, so they thought that, oh, yeah, he's just, taking a rest. But then Christ said, no, he is dead. But what did he mean? He said that Lazarus is sleeping. So he used sleeping to describe him as being dead. Okay, so that proves off of that the dead are in the same state, that we are when we go to sleep at night. Okay, when you're unconscious, that's the same state that those who departed from the body are in. Okay, they're all at rest, they're all at peace. Just read Job chapter 3. Okay, it tells you what? They're the wicked, they cease from troubling. They're the weary, they're at rest. All right, that's where everyone goes when they die, man, is to the spiritual realm. Right? It's funny because guys be on there saying, oh, people go down, into hell, right? People go, up into heaven. And that's, what the majority of people subscribe to. Why? Because everyone was raised off of that Christian theology. But that's not true. I'll give this example. If you go to, what is that? If you go to, I want to say Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7, it tells you that the spirit of a man goes upward, but the spirit of a beast goes downward into the earth, right? The spirit of a man goes up to the Most High, but the spirit of an animal goes downward into the earth. So wait a second, are animals going to hell then? Read the verse, it says that the spirit of a man goes upward, but the spirit of an animal goes downward. So are animals going down to hell? I don't think so. As I said, man, you gotta come out of what these churches are teaching, man. As I said, if you're still going to church in the year 2022, man, you're a damn fool, man. If you're going to church in 2022, Christians are a damn joke, man. And don't get me wrong, there's some sincere Christians out there who really are trying to, understand the scriptures. Right? I'm not going to deny that. That's definitely true. And I know some of them, right? I know some of them. So some of them are more reasonable than others, when it comes to, accepting the fact that they've been, duped, on certain, doctrines in the scriptures, but then you have other ones who, they just believe what they believe, because that's how they were raised. Just like, I'll give this example. If you listen to a documentary, from the Amish, right? The Amish, which are basically people who live, life as if it was still the 17th and 18th century, right? Running around, in carriages being driven by horses and, living without electricity and, internet and all of that, which there ain't nothing wrong with doing that. But, they can't condemn people who do, because the religion basically, condemns people who do that, say that it's a sin to do so. And that's not true, because the Bible tells you that you can use the world. Right? You can use the world to your ability. Okay, so first of all, the Lord put it into their minds to create the internet. The Lord put it into their minds to create what we have around us right now, man. That was what the Lord put into their heart to do. That's why if you go to, what is that? If you go to Jeremiah 54, verse 16, right, it tells you that the Lord is the one who put it into their mind to create certain things. Okay, so the idea of the internet, the Lord put it into their mind to make the internet. Why? So his word can be brought forth. Because by way of the internet was how we all have access to this information. Now, you wouldn't know what I'm telling you if you didn't see what I'm saying by way of the internet. And I wouldn't know what I'm saying if I didn't learn it by way of the internet. Right? So the Lord set up the internet so we could use it, to learn. Because back then, when the apostles, went on their journeys and when Christ went, and taught, you'd have to go in the crowds, into the cities that they're teaching in order to listen. But now, from the comfort of your own home, you can tune into a live stream or to a pre-recorded video and you can listen to, the service, right? That's why Christians are using this, what is it, Zoom, right? Zoom, to do their church service online, which is a smart idea, right? There ain't nothing wrong with doing that. It's a smart idea, but I'm just using that, for an example, to prove my point that there's nothing wrong with using the internet. But going back to the reason why I brought up the Amish people is, if you listen to some of these documentaries when they talk to them, what a lot of them say is the reason why they're Amish is because, they were raised as an Amish person, right? They were raised, from childhood, with that. So they keep their tradition and pass it on to their children and so on and so forth. So that's why they believe in it, is because that's how they were raised, right? So same thing with heaven and hell. We've all been raised to think that these are places where you go when you die. But that's not true according to the scriptures. Just like, I'll give this example. We were all taught that Jesus is a so-called white man. That's not true. According to the Bible, the Most High and his Son are actually black. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Talk about the red pill. You know what I'm saying? Little Matrix joke. Okay, but that's true, right? It's true that the Most High and his Son, according to the Bible, are actually black. And that's a hard pill to swallow, man. Okay, so hey, if you can get that, then give yourself a pat on the back, because 95% of other people can't get it. Tells you when what is that? Job, excuse me, not Job. Daniel, the 12th chapter. It says that the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, right? So, the Lord blocks certain people, from understanding certain things, right? So it's a great delusion to believe that, if you are wicked, you die and burn in hell, or if you're righteous, you go and live in heaven. That's a big delusion. Brings up, what is that, 2 Thessalonians 2:11, that the Lord just sent them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. It's a good precept, man. Okay. But going back to the whole topic of the video, man, is that, when you die, when your soul departs from your body, you are in a state of rest, right? Just like when you go to sleep at night. I'll give this example, man. Today I slept for, 10 hours because the night previously, I had to, get up early for sun. So I was sleep deprived. So I slept for 10 hours last night. But you know how that feels, man. So tired, you fall asleep. Feels like you wake up like 5 seconds later, right? But really it was 10 hours in between when your head hit the pillow and then when you got up. But guess what? It feels like nothing, right? It feels like, and there's even memes about that, where they have memes about that, right? That, and you know how it is from back when you were at school, man. You go to sleep, and dread when, morning comes, because then you got to go to school. Like, I'll tell you, man, I remember this one story. A little story time with ETT real quick. I remember back in, what was it? I want to say first grade or second grade. Yeah, first or second grade. I, had to, which I remember my school. What was that school called? What was that? Which I won't put it on. I won't say it on here. But, I remember that school. I had to pay that place a visit one day, man. Had to go spend a good, I want to say, 11 years probably since I've been there? 11 years? Maybe 12 years. Something like that. Decently long time ago. But, going back to the story is, each day of the week we would have a, like, what is it, PE time? One day would be art class, one day would be PE, right? Physical, fitness classes and stuff like that, where you get outside. One day would be, music class. But then one that I hated was computers, right? They would have a computer day where you went to the, the computer room where they had like 60, 70, computers in there, like the box computers. And you would, go on certain sites. Like, I believe the site they put us on was called, what is it? Starfall, I believe. You can look that up, right? Starfall, which is a educational, platform, for kids to go on and learn. But I remember, man, that I used to, at home, I used to hide underneath the table, and it was a big table. Like, I mean, the table had to have been, I want to say 600-700 pounds. It was a marble table, right? Because we were living with, someone else at the time, but that's a whole nother story. But they had a big ass table there, man. Right? That I used to hide under there in the morning time, on the days that, it would be computer day. Why? Because I didn't want to go to school and play on the computers, because I hate computers, and I still don't like computers today. I don't even have a computer, right? Or a computy inside joke, right? As Angry Grandpa would call it, right? A computy, right? I don't have a computer. But yeah, I always hate, the computer day, right? So I was always hide underneath the table, so I didn't have to go to, school. So they'd be there trying to, my mom and my uncle be there to try to, fish me out from underneath the table. You know what I'm saying? So, just a little fun story to put in there. But going back to what I was saying, man, is, we'll get back to the video topic, is, what we are taught you know, in school and by, these religious institutions is false, right? The Bible is true, right? Don't get that twisted. The Bible is true. But what they told us is not true about the scriptures, right? What they've told us, the way that we've come to understand, certain beliefs in the scriptures are not correct. Like, I'll give this example. The Christians believe that the gospel is for everyone. That's not true. Christ told you in, what was that, Matthew 15:24, I believe. He said, look, I've only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Those are the only people who Christ came to bring salvation to, is the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Nobody else. The Lord didn't come for the Samaritans. The Lord didn't come for the Chinese. The Lord didn't come for, the other nations out there. The Lord only came to bring salvation to the children of Israel. And that's not what I'm saying. That's what the Bible says. And somebody's going to be slick and bring up John 3:16. But wait a second. What does the world mean? Because if you go to, what is that? Isaiah 45, verse 17. It says that that Israel is a world of its own, right? So the world in John 3:16 refers to the nation of Israel. It's not talking about the entire so-called globe. Right, that's not what it's talking about. All right, it's talking about the nation of Israel. All right, and that's why I said, man, a lot of people, don't really know a whole lot about the scriptures. But anyway, I hope that video is edifying. If anybody made this far into the video, go ahead and put hashtag sleep in the comment section. I'm going to say shalom.